Pete Murad from the Detroit Houndstown, USA. Pete, thanks so much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for allowing me to be with you. I appreciate it.
First of all, obviously, it's a wonderful thing to adopt and not shop, to actually bring a homeless animal into your home, but you are seeing a decent number of them being returned?
Yeah, so basically what happens is people aren't prepared for what they're getting into, if you will. So when they bring an animal, either a dog or a cat, back to their home, they're not prepared for possibly the chewing of furniture, possibly the, urinating, things like that they're not prepared for. So we always say to do your research before you bring an animal home. It's great that they're clearing out the shelters, but the worst thing is when we hear that they're trying to take them back a week later because they weren't prepared for bringing them home. So there's a lot of things that you have to do. You have to set boundaries right from the beginning. Give specifically for dogs. Cats are a little bit more independent. Dogs are very, they'll adapt to their environment. So you have to set boundaries. If you don't want your dog eating people scraps, if you don't want it getting on the couch, if you don't want it getting on the bed, set those boundaries from the beginning and stay consistent.
Now, you hear that saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So if you're adopting, say, a middle-aged dog or an older dog, can you train them?
Absolutely, without a doubt, you can. You can, but again, it's consistency, and the dog will adapt to that if you stay consistent with what you're training that dog to do.
Now, I know with children, routine and schedule is so important. Is that the same for pets or dogs or cats?
Without a doubt. If you can try to get the same feeding schedule for the dog, if you can try to get the same walk schedule for the dog, then they get used to when they're going to go to the bathroom, when they're not. So you have to adapt the schedule for that animal to get used to their environment and to accept their new environment. Because a lot of these dogs and cats, they've been in a situation, you don't know what their background is. So for them, it's all a new environment. So getting them comfortable with a schedule will help immensely.
How about crate training? Do you think that is a must-have?
100%. Because the dog specifically, they use the crates as their own safe space. And people think that it's cruel to put them in a crate. It's not. They use it as their safe space. So once they understand that's their spot, they will even go in there anytime that they want to get away from a human or anytime they want to get away from a situation. That's their safe spot. So it's definitely recommended.
So what would you tell those new adopters when they are starting to feel frustrated or like, I can't do this? What would you tell them?
Patience, 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 patience. Just remember that this is an animal that's in a new environment. It will adapt to what you train it to do, but you have to be patient. Just be patient. Don't be mean to it. Don't give it love, give it respect, and be patient. And it will transform into what you train it to do.
Is there a must-have training technique for cats? It seems like cats are a little harder to train than dogs.
Well, cats are way more independent, and cats more or less take care of themselves. So really with cats, it's just getting them to use the kitty litter. I think that's the number one thing.
You are not kidding right there.
Yeah,
and I already had a shredded couch from my last cat, so that didn't bother me when we adopted two new little ones here lately.
I was going to say that too. Give it something to climb on. Give it something to, use those claws.
Yes. Well patterned scratches there. How about the Christmas tree? How do you keep them away from the Christmas tree?
Oh my gosh, that's a nightmare. That's a trick I still haven't learned.
Okay, I figured somebody would have had the answer for me. It's
especially
elusive.
the live ones. Especially the live ones. I want to go ahead and drink the water. And
oh man. Good times, good times.
Yeah, I'll tell you, another thing specifically for dogs, though, is socializing them from a young age. So
can people find that from your website? We're running out of time.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Houndstown, USA, locations, Detroit, and we're in Troy at 14.5 and Rochester Road.
Pete Murad, thank you so much from the Detroit Houndstown, USA. Wonderful information for people out there ready to adopt.
I appreciate you. Thanks a lot. Everyone have a great holiday.
You too.